Without further ado, please put a warm welcome for the very first time on stage, Mr. Davy Jones.
Hiya. I'm not the tallest, Richard. Hi, yes, I'm Davy Jones, and I set up the annual Brighton Yoga Festival and the Brighton Yoga Foundation, which is a charity that takes yoga to people who wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do it. So, Rich and I have chatted a little bit about running annual yoga festivals, like hamster wheel, and having to do it every year and all the rest of it. So, I thought it would be useful to come along, maybe talk a little bit about yoga breathing. But I'm going to start with a joke, because I went out for dinner last night, told people what I was going to be doing today, and someone said, I've got a harmonica joke. And I've never heard a harmonica joke, so I promised her I would tell this joke tonight. So, today. So, a mouse goes into a music equipment shop and says, I'd like to buy a mouse organ. And the guy in the shop says, mouse organ? That's funny. There was a female mouse came in earlier today, and she wanted to buy a mouse organ. And the mouse said, that'll be a harmonica.
Are you here all day?
It will get better. It will get better, I promise you. So I'm going to start actually with a quote from a good friend of mine. He's another yoga teacher, and I thought it was a lovely quote. So I just thought I'd share it with you. He said, breathing is absolutely fundamental to our being. We can survive for perhaps 3 months without food, about 10 days without water, but for virtually everyone, after 6 minutes without breath, we're dead. Our first act at birth is to inhale, and our last act when we die is to exhale. The breath teaches us about life, how to be present, and ultimately about how to live. So, and there's very little known about good breathing. You know, you'll get books, TV programs about cooking and other important things about bodily function, about eating and drinking, but there's very little about breathing. You don't see TV programs very often about breathing. So why is it so important? Well, it's so important because breathing is one of those few bodily functions that is both automatic, controlled by the brain and the nervous system, but also capable of being controlled by our conscious intervention. We don't have to remember to breathe any more than we have to remember to get our heart to beat. But the difference is that we can also change and control our breathing, and doing so brings big physical and mental benefits. So what are these benefits? Well, breathing in and out of the lungs brings in oxygen, flushes out carbon dioxide. It's pumped around the body, reacts with molecules from food, and that produces our energy. Breathing through the nose, not the mouth, is much more efficient. It cleans the air, heats and moistens it, and it also plays a role in our digestion and in regulating our blood pressure. Nostril breathing also boosts important chemicals in the body, like nitric oxide. Now, mouth breathing, on the other hand, can cause the body to lose up to 40% of its water. It can potentially lead to dehydration. And as you probably know, mouth breathing at night makes you much more likely to snore. Deep breathing makes the lungs much more efficient and brings in more oxygen. Strengthens our core muscles and our lumbar spine. And the heart also gets a good massage because it's connected by muscle to the diaphragm as it goes up and down in the breathing. So I want to turn to how breathing can help to control our moods. The average breathing rate varies widely, between 12 and 25 breaths per minute. A common figure is that average day-to-day breathing, which is what you're doing now, is about 4 seconds per breath. 2 seconds in, 1, 2, and 2 seconds out, 1, 2. That's the average. Now, you may have heard of something called the fight, flight, or freeze syndrome. When a person feels very stressed or in acute danger, it causes fast, shallow chest breathing. This activates what's known as the sympathetic nervous system. It releases adrenaline and other chemicals to focus the whole body on survival. This is a very primal and necessary bodily function. But some people with long-term stress get stuck in this mode of shallow breathing, and it has very negative physical and mental effects. Deep, slow breathing, on the other hand, consciously activates what's known as the parasympathetic nervous system. This counters the release of adrenaline and other chemicals, and it lowers blood pressure and heart rate. It reduces anxiety and fear, and it releases more oxygen to the brain. It's a good way also to overcome a panic attack, if you ever have one, and it can make people feel more normal again and relaxed. So coming on to yoga breathing, most people think of yoga as just doing various postures, standing in different positions, all that type of thing. But actually there's much more to it than that. It's also about meditation, it's also about breathing. And in Sanskrit, which is the sort of ancient Indian language, pranayama means prana is energy and yama is good. So it's good breathing, good energy. Now these techniques have an even longer tradition than the posture work in yoga. They go back thousands of years. And I thought it might be interesting to look at 3 different yoga breathing techniques that might be useful for harmonica players. Now first of all, some health warnings. I'm going to pass around a box of tissues. Would you mind passing them around? The reason being, doing these breathing exercises can release a lot of mucus in your nose, and it's good to have a good blow before you start. That's my experience. I strongly suggest you do. Also, I have to give you some health warnings. If you've had a stroke or suffer from cardiovascular issues or chronic asthma, or if you're pregnant, then some of these breathing exercises might be contraindicated. It might be a good idea for you to miss them out. All breathing exercises can make some people feel a little bit lightheaded or a bit weird. So if that happens to you, please don't think you've got to carry on. Just come out of the exercise and just do your normal breathing again. Finally, most people prefer to focus on their breathing by closing their eyes. Now, if you don't like closing your eyes, you won't do it. But most of you will probably find it easier to do the breathing exercises if you close your eyes. So the first one that we're going to do is, everybody got tissues yet? They come around. I don't need them back, you can take this many. You don't want to take back the used ones. So the first one I want to look at is called alternate nostril breathing. Now this is an interesting set of facts that you might not know. You may not know, but at any one time, one of your nostrils is dominant over the other. The right can be dominant, and then the left is dominant, and it changes on and off during the day. Usually about every hour or every hour and a half, it changes over. And the right nostril is known in sort of breathing circles as the gas pedal. It's associated with energy and physical activity. It's linked to the left side of the brain, so right nose, left side of the brain. And the left side of the brain controls speech, comprehension, arithmetic, logic, language, and all the rest. It's often referred to as the male nostril, the right nostril, and it stimulates that sympathetic nervous system that I talked about earlier. The left nostril, on the other hand, is known as the brake pedal, and it's associated with emotions and introspection. It's linked to the right side of the brain, so left nose, right side of the brain. And the right side of the brain is often referred to as the female nostril, stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system I mentioned earlier. So this alternate nostril breathing practice helps to even out that alternating dominance between the nostrils, and it can help to control our moods and behaviour according to which nostril is dominant. So, how are you going to do this? I'll show you what you're going to do. You're going to get your hand like this, and you're going to bring the last 2 fingers, the little finger and the ring finger together. You're going to bring the other 2 fingers together and have the thumb like this. Okay, everybody got that? And then you're going to forget these 2 fingers, the first 2 fingers here. You're going to either have them on your forehead, or you're going to let them be up in the air. And you're going to have your thumb on one nostril and the little finger and the ring finger on the other. And you're going to just alternate backwards and forwards in a moment. Now it's important that you don't go mad when you do this. I don't want to see anyone going like this. It's a gentle, just pushing down and closing one nostril and opening up the other. That's how it's going to work. So, I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to start off by, I'll do it first, and then we'll all do it together. So you're going to start by closing your right nostril with your thumb, and you're going to breathe in through the left nostril. Then you're going to close the left nostril with your fingers, and then you're going to breathe out through the right nostril. Then you're going to breathe in through the right nostril, close the right nostril, and breathe out through the left nostril. And so you're going to go backwards and forwards like that. I'll talk us through it. We're only going to do this for about a minute or so don't panic. And as I said earlier, if at any stage you feel a little bit lightheaded or it doesn't feel right, just stop. No one's going to get told off if they don't do it. Okay, so get your hand like this. Bring your thumb gently onto your right nostril and breathe in through the left nostril. Close the left nostril with the fingers and breathe out through the right nostril. Breathe in through the right nostril. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Close the right, breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Close the right, breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Close the right, breathe out through the left. And stop. Everybody alright? Anyone feel lightheaded or weird? Or weird and normal? Good. So that's the first one. So that's just something to do. It also can actually really help to clear the nose, that particular reason. Two more ones I want to try, and they get slightly more difficult. So again, I stress you can always drop out of them if you don't want to do them. The next one, they both involve deeper and slower breathing, and it's through both nostrils. So you're not alternating now, you're using both nostrils at the same time. The first is called square breathing. And this involves breathing in for a few seconds, holding the breath for a few seconds, breathing out for a few seconds, and then holding again for a few seconds. So you can think of it as breathing in, hold, out, hold. So you can think of it as breathing around a square, if that helps you just sort of get used to it. And I'm going to do it for about sort of 3 seconds, each part of it, and we're just going to see how we get on with this, okay? So, everybody ready? Bit of interaction.
Yeah.
We're also calm after the... Yes, that's right. I take it as a compliment. Right, so this one. So, I want you to... Let's start by bringing our breaths together, because we have to do this at the same time. So let's all inhale. And exhale. And then inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Keep going. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. And hold. 1, 2, 3. Last round. Inhale. 1, 2, and 3. Hold the breath. 1, 2, and 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. And hold. 1, 2, and 3. Just release your breath. Go back to normal breathing. Everybody okay? Everybody just expired. fine. Okay, so finally, the last and most powerful breath technique that I want to just try, just for a minute or so, because it's quite a strong one. It's known as coherent breathing. Some of you may know about this. It's essentially what you do is you do very long, deep breaths in and very long, deep breaths out. And lots of people find a deep inhale quite challenging. There's a tendency, if you say to people to hold you, to breathe in for 5 or 6 seconds for them to go, and after 1 second they're completely full, they can't. So you have to do it nice and slow, and not immediately try and grasp as much breath as you can. We're going to try and breathe in for 5 to 6 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 to 6 seconds. This works out as being about 6 breaths a minute, as opposed to what I said earlier is the normal of about 12 to 25. So it's quite different from your normal breathing. While you're just sat there now quietly, just there, you're doing that little breathing I talked about earlier, breathing in, breathing out for a couple of seconds each. This is much longer and more difficult. So we'll give it a go, and again, we'll have to bring our breaths together to do this, and then I'll talk to you. And we'll try and do it for about 90 seconds, okay? But at any time, as I mentioned before, you can always drop out of it if it feels a bit too challenging. Everybody okay to give this a go? Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's start by bringing our breaths together. So let's all inhale and exhale. Do another one, slow, deep inhale and exhale. It might be better if you stood up, actually. If people object to standing up. If people have got any reason why they want to sit down, that's fine too. But I think most of you might find it easier to breathe to stand up. Okay, so let's do that again, that breath. Let's just all breathe in and breathe out. And then breathe in and breathe out. And then inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nearly finished. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last round. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just relax. Breathe out through the mouth. Sit down. Well done, everyone.
Yeah, that's good.
So just go back to your normal breathing. I hope you found this session useful and interesting and learned a little bit more about breathing. Finally, in the publicity for this session, Richard used me in a very unusual yoga position with my ankle behind my head. And he challenged me to play my harmonica with the ankle behind my head. So, not one to want to accept a challenge, I decided I would try and do this. So this will require, I'm hoping this is going to be filmed, by the way, Richard. You promised me it would be filmed. Yeah, good, yeah, good. So I'm going to have to sit down here, maybe move this out of the way, and try and play my harmonica with my ankle behind my head. So I hope you'll all appreciate how bloody difficult it is. Part of the problem is, when you play the harmonica, you want to have your chest to be open and strong like this, and when you have your ankle behind your head, it pushes your head in, something like this. So should we move this out of the way? All right, okay, yeah. Can people see me?
Our opposition. I think a drum roll really, don't we?
Yeah.
gentlemen, never seen it long time.
They're Harpin by the sea world first.
No strings, no safety net.
Okay.
Sing along now.
Goodness.